Recently, the Southern African Fraud Prevention Services highlighted a rise in fraudulent activities, including a new trend of criminals targeting banking apps to loot victims' bank accounts. They note an increase in thefts of mobile phones, with criminals specifically targeting banking apps. Now, to help us with more perspective on cyber threat in South Africa, we're joined by Mike Bolhuis, a specialist investigator into violent economic and cyber crimes. Mike, a very good evening, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Mike, the issue of cybercrime, as much as we embrace technology, it seems like it's something that keeps improving as much as the technology is improving on a daily basis, and makes it very hard for us to keep up with.
Yeah, look, all the industries, all the digital and electronic and banking and app and anything you can think of that's digital or electronic is trying their utmost best to give us the best cell phones and the best protection on all our devices. But remember, the criminals keep up. They have the same access, and the moment something new is on the market that is protecting you, they are going to get it, get the information, and get something to infiltrate or to get hold of it or hack it or get through the security systems. That's the unfortunate thing. So, number one, there's not real protection in place presently because of two reasons. Most people that have cell phones don't even read the booklet. So I want to warn the public. I mean, it's obvious. When you buy something, you must read the booklet, the instructions. You must know your smartphone. Number two, most people want smartphones, but a smartphone can become the very enemy. You can be tracked and traced. All your information could be stolen. You could be grabbed and held. And even if you have all the security devices, fingerprint, the blinking of the eyes, remember, anything in place, all of it, the criminal can hold you in your house, in a car, or kidnap you and keep you for several hours and go into your phone and give you instructions with a gun against your head or a knife and tell you to empty all your accounts. So it's going to that level now. The level of kidnappings and holding people for just a few hours or a day or two has escalated immensely. So number three, the elderly, even the elderly, so much want a nice phone and a smartphone, and we want to give it to them because it's so easy, so nice. It's mostly for photos, communication, etc., etc. But even them and those who have smartphones that is not young or old, that is not knowledgeable, should be taught not only the booklet, but you should sit down, maybe your cell phone provider, which I expect them to do, and maybe somebody in the family or somebody that is cyber wise to teach you how to work with your phone. Number four, I've said it how many times before, don't keep unnecessary stuff on your phone. Only the most important stuff. Because if you lose your phone and you have a breakdown, then you know you've had too much on your phone. Don't keep personal or any information on your phone that can put you at risk or in a compromising position, like sextortion, naked photos, or private information of your vehicles and what you own and all your valuables and your holiday homes and how much you earn and where you work and photos of your house and stuff like that. Those days are gone. You cannot keep this on your cell phone. Number five, the main target of the criminal today is your cell phone. It's the next DNA. It's better than DNA. If I enter a crime scene and there's evidence lying all over the place and they say to me, Mike, choose one, I'll take the phone. It has the DNA of you on it, it has fingerprints on it, and it's got all the information of you on it. It's a complete tracking device. It can help any criminal or officer in a case. And then lastly, we have to revert back to do as little as possible and deal with apps regarding money. because the main reason for the theft of the cell phone or hacking your phone or infiltrating you or calling you and saying to you, the criminal, calling you by your name, giving you your ID number, and giving you your address, and then you feel at ease and you think it is Capitec or it is FNB or it is this institution, and you give an OTP because they've stolen your information. Could have been out of a dustbin where you've thrown information away, where they've read it. It could have been on your cell phone where you've passed it to somebody else that deliberately or gotten your information and then sold it or given it to them, or it could be somebody close by that is connected with criminals that buy this information. So don't do financial transactions on your phones anymore. And if you do, you have to find a way to work in such a way that it's not available, and those apps and whatever business you're doing is not readily available to the criminals.
So, Mike, I mean, with that, and going back to the issue of banking apps, the whole point of having banking apps on the phones, on the tablets, is for convenience. I guess, as you say, it's not only then convenient for me as the user, but also convenient for the criminal. So would you say then that let's go back to going into the bank, to the ATM, to do transactions instead of using our phones? Or is there a way that we can protect ourselves while still using the technology which is supposed to make our lives easy?
Until there is absolute guaranteed safety and security on digital and electronic communications. That's what I say. Unfortunately. So if you're a rich businessman, you should know by now you're a target. You should know a very person that works for you can sell all your information and be part of a criminal gang or syndicate out there that can kidnap you and hold you. And what do? They grab you. You walk one Saturday morning out of the mall, buying groceries for your wife and the kids and some presents. They grab you in your luxury vehicle. They drive around with you, gun against their head. It's so brazen and so familiar are these criminals with this that they will even speak to the bank manager and say to him, listen, if you don't transfer or do this, that, or the other, we kill this man right here and then. And we know by now the criminals of today see people as humans, as merchandise. They don't care for the loss of life. They don't think further than that. And they don't care about human life. And they will kill. Because after they've dropped you, killed you, and most probably stolen your car and sold that as well, they'll go to the next mall and get another businessman. So to the businessman, I say the following. You should have something in and on your phone that is in such a way not available to the criminal, meaning you should, the app should either be hidden, and I don't even think that is possible, or deleted completely and only brought back in when in a specific day that you deal with that. We have to, unfortunately, be extremely careful. Anybody that works with money on that level, that your phone is the target, and there are many criminals out there, and they know this, and they watch this show, and they follow what we do and all our projects. They know exactly what we do, but we unfortunately have to expose them, and they learn from this, and they will adapt again. So the bottom line is there's no other way until there's absolute safety and security provided by those who provide the apps, by the cell phone companies, the electronic and digital entities, as well as the banks.
Is there a way, there's this whole issue of banking app Trojans. Is there something that one can install, lack of a better phrasing, Mike, to my device to make sure that it is protected against such hacking? Or is it simply just about being vigilant, as you said?
Buena, if I pick you up acting as a criminal, I have a knife against your throat or a gun against your head, all I say is open your phone, you blink, you do all your stuff. If you don't, you die. What are you going to do? So here's what I'm saying. If the criminal is into your phone, he should see there's nothing that he can do. Nothing. And that's why I say these rich businessmen and all these working with money transactions and doing a lot of money business should do it at a safe spot, not whilst driving or in a car and have it on their phone. They should do it and then delete and have everything off their phone so that when the criminal has that phone, he hasn't got the advantage, because all he's going to see is this businessman's phone has just got contacts and details and some WhatsApps and maybe some Bible verses and some jokes and something about the rugby, etc., etc. It will still be full of all the other, let's call it chit and chatter, but it doesn't have information of his money and his valuables and his policies, etc., etc. And that's unfortunately up to the point, we have to live like this, up to the point where the banks can guarantee that this won't happen again with the bank app. And my cybercrime unit has been thinking and working on this for a long time. The bottom line is you can try to prevent the criminal to get into your phone, but he's going to make you go into your phone. And he can only commit this crime, and it can only be successfully executed if the information is on the phone.
I miss the days of the good old landline, Mike. Nobody could hack into the landline. But then on a more serious note then, I mean, as you say that be as minimalistic as possible with your device. And would that be the way to go, to say, yes, keep your pictures, your jokes, your score updates and all those things, but the important things like the app, like the properties that you have, the cars and so on and so forth, need not be with you at all times.
Yes, you get a safe spot as a businessman. You sit Mondays or a Friday, you put that out, and that is the day you do everything on your apps, and then you take the apps off and you reinstall them when you need them again. You should have nothing on your phone. I mean, how many times should we say this to the public? That if the criminal gets your phone and he has all your information, he can do an array of crimes, commit crimes against you. He can see where you stay. He can see your family. He can kidnap family members or yourself. He can see your banking transactions, your worth, your value. And then you're in trouble, because they will extract all of that from you and execute this crime successfully because you've got a gun. It's a violent crime. You've got it. They will harm you severely if you don't, or kill you if you don't transfer those monies. So unfortunately, that's the way. And I want to add something here. The old people and the younger people, when they have smartphones, they are not taught about these things. And we, in a way, keep it away from them. This should not be so. They should listen to this conversation. They should read all the newspaper articles. You media are doing a brilliant job. All the media outlets are constantly warning the public about these crimes and how cybercrime has escalated and how exactly it works and how it's being done, as we've explained tonight. The old people and the younger people should be taught in schools, in classes, and the elderly in their old age homes or by their family members, that if they have a smartphone, and preferably an old person should not have a smartphone, because remember, on that smartphone, the whole family can then be at risk. So we need to be careful in future, not to try always have the best and the nicest phones. We have to be careful that those who have phones handle them responsibly and knows everything of that phone.
Mike, just before I let you go, just earlier on we had a conversation with church leaders about the rise of crime in church, where congregants are being robbed and so on and so forth. How do you think churches can protect themselves from such, as we're seeing a rise in that kind of crime within the church setup?
Yes, unfortunately, churches should see themselves as a business. They should take all the precautions, beams, CCTV cameras, security guards. Remember, the criminal is not going to bypass you when you have a little white collar here or a cross hat, or in any religion. They don't care. They are after the money, and if they can, especially vulnerable people, if they can enter a church and take all the handbags, all the jewelry, all the phones, and the collection money, and any and everything of value, even take the wine and the bread, they will. The penny must drop to the South Africans that whether you're a car business owner or whether you're a school teacher or a doctor or a churchgoer, you and all your people around you, everybody is at risk. This is a lawless, God-forsaken country. And crime is on the rising due to corruption in our government and in our authorities. Crime pays, and the criminal does get away with it.
Mike, we're going to have to leave it there.